I want everybody just to look at this leaflet right here. Passion for trying to do something in the neighborhood, trying to change. This is what we see on a nightly basis. You know, this leaflet right here, this is just some of the guns that the police have, they confiscated, but it's 3 times more than this walking around on the street every night. You know, every day I'm sitting in meetings. I lost 2 family members to gun violence. And I got to a point where I felt like I got to get involved because I had a lot to do with what's out here and going on. Something to come back and talk to these kids and re-educate them and say, listen, what we thought what we were doing was the right thing and we thought we'd take care of our families, but it was the wrong thing. And then I look at the way the community is and how these kids are right now, where they feel like they don't have no hope, and the only hope they got is that gun on the side of their pot waist or in their backyard or stashed in that car right down the street. This is real. This is what we're dealing with right now. I'm saying with 15 and 14 and 13-year-old kids walking around with guns that they really don't know how to use, but they're using them. And my thing, I like the We Did campaign, and I like how many people are right now acting like they're conscious or they're waking up. But I'm tired of meetings. I'm tired of sitting around and we talk about this, and then at 5:30, 6 o'clock, everybody in the meetings, we either got fat and talked about what we was gonna do, they go home. And at the same time, the same thing every night goes on in the community. So ain't nothing changing. So what I'm asking is that this campaign is something that some people start really wanting to come out. I see a lot of black men, I see a lot of brothers that's in here right now. Come out, let's stand up. We can walk with this community every night. We walk the community every night, half of what's going on don't happen. Just because they got respect for you, just because they see you out here, it won't happen. It's our community. If you step up right now, I got a 7-year-old son. If we don't do something right now, I can't buy him a gold chain. I can't buy him a nice car. He can't go to the suit because he may get killed going to the corner store. Just because he got on a nice pair of sneakers or he got a gold chain. It's just that serious right now in the community. And if we don't step up and start talking to some of these kids and getting in their faces and saying, what are you doing? I'm not gonna allow you to do what you're doing. I'm talking to a lot of single parents and single women out here right now that's crying because they wasn't ready for having a teenage son. So their teenage son is running their house. She don't know what to do. So if I got more black men and more men that want to walk the community and knock on some of these doors, because we know the troublemakers. So we can knock on some of the doors and talk to some of the mothers that, she's scared of her son. I ain't scared of her son. If she want to search her house and see if there's a gun in the house, we can dispose of that gun and he ain't gonna do nothing about it. But I need some more people that want to step up and not just talk about it. That's where I'm at right now. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, which means may the peace and blessings of Almighty God be upon you. Today, many of you are wondering, well, why are the Muslims out here tonight? Why are we getting involved? Why are we not, as many people say, living in our own box and protecting our own interests? We've been building our own schools and our own neighborhoods and dealing with the drug dealers in the particular areas and expanding our community and dealing with things like that within ourselves. But one thing that is true that we have to become real with is the fact that we can't escape the pain that is occurring in our community. We can't escape the hurt that is also growing within our community. None of us, and we're really talking about all people of faith, none of us can think that we can hide in our masajid, inside of our churches, inside of our synagogues, and escape the pain, escape the hurt that is growing in our communities. A month ago or so, the Muslim community came together and we buried one of our brothers who was shot with gunfire. Now, the unique thing about Muslims is the responsibility of washing the person's body ourselves. We take the person and we hold that person in our arms and we run the water and the soap over that person's body and we have a personal contact with that person. And I tell you, when you're talking about feeling pain, you can feel the pain when suddenly you're having to wash over the wounds of a person who's been affected by gunfire. Or you're feeling the pain when you're rubbing your hands over a person riddled with bullets. You understand the pain. You understand what is necessary to come together when you see Muslims and Christians at the cemetery together, picking up dirt with their own hands, and then dropping it on the body of Muslims and Christians coming together with shovels to bury again our own, with our own hands. We have to realize that we have to share in doing something about this pain and about this hurt that is growing within our communities. You know, I've worked in the juvenile justice system for almost 19 years. I've worked at Manson Youth Institution as a chaplain, as a minister, or an imam, working in that particular prison, working with 14 to 20-year-old young people who have committed some of the most heinous crimes in this city. And one of the things that I remember them telling me, and it hurts my heart when I hear it, he says to me, I wish you had told me these higher truths when I was in the community before I got locked up, and then I wouldn't be here. Then I wouldn't be here if the men had decided to stand up and dare to stand and tell these truths now until before it's too late. We can't tell the 54 individuals that are buried in the ground about the ways that they can solve the problems that have affected their lives. We can't tell them what they need to do about the changes, etc. But we can put together a prevention program to try to stop the kids that are alive in our communities now. You know, quite often we get together in my field, we're seeing kids in the hospital that have been riddled by bullets, and we hear them say something very simple. They say, I want to live. When a person is shot, it's drama on TV. It's drama in the community. You see it on the news and it's still drama. But when you're sitting there with a person who has been shot by gunfire, and he's sitting there wondering about holding his life together, if he's going to live and take his next breath, and he says to you, I want to live, you understand the pain. You understand the hurt that is going through that person, and you understand the effect that it's having on our whole entire community. We have a saying that if you kill one person, it's as though you killed the whole entire community. If you kill one person, you take away one life, you've affected a whole entire community. Brother Shafiq, being a police officer, he will tell you about the many times when he's going to the streets, and when he's seen the people on the street, he's seen them again saying, I want to live. They've taken their last breath. So today we come together to address this campaign because we feel the pain. And even when you hear the word campaign, you hear the term pain and even the term campaign. It reminds us of the pain. So today we're coming together to introduce a 9-point program, which is a people's campaign to stop gun violence in Connecticut, in the city of New Haven. It is an educational campaign that asks the people to have the courage to dare to stand. It's an educational and awareness campaign to help this community to learn how we can police ourselves and what we can do when we bring together people of good morality and good character. It is a campaign that wants to teach the community to stand up and say, we're wrong to kill ourselves, and we must stop the self-imposed genocide. We want people to understand that only an ignorant people will continue to commit genocide upon itself. We understand that if Dr. King and Malcolm X, the Muslim and Christian examples, were here today, they would be talking to us about these problems, about the problems that we're having among ourselves. So today we ask the people to dare to stand for this following campaign. We first of all want to bring the people together to realize that we need to address an awareness in the community. We want to begin by developing a We Want to Live poster campaign. You see this particular poster that we have here that says Dare to Stand and Bullets Have No Name? And we're looking at this child, this picture is here. We want the community and our children and our people and the offenders and the shooters to realize that bullets have no name. See, quite often, again, we just continue to dramatize. We don't realize that it's real. It's something that we continue to escape. We want to put posters like this all throughout the community, reminding the people that we all want to live, that our children want to live, our community want to live. We want to get the pictures of those who have been killed, those who have been shot in our communities. Have them also put across the community to remind people about the loss that have taken place in our community. We want to start this poster campaign built up posters and car tags and symbols and flyers all throughout the community to get people to understand and become aware of the effects that is happening on this community. We want to take this community's problems. We want to address the community problems. We want to address the offenders, people to go into the New Haven public school system and create a Dare to Stand school campaign to educate the children about the impact of gun violence. We're the same campaign, very similar when you look at the DARE campaign. It's called DARE, where they teach the children about drugs and alcohol abuse within the school system. But we want to take this to another level and also show the children about the impact of guns and educate them. We don't need to go through all the schools throughout the city, but we need to target the schools where most of the gun violence is occurring. We need to target those particular communities, and we are seeking those who want to be involved in the campaign to help in that effort. If you're a person who has been involved with the shooting, if you are a person who was a shooter, if you are a person who was incarcerated, if you're a person who has a person who is close to you that have been affected by gun violence, you have a message that needs to be given. You can join together with us to build this curriculum, to go into the school system, to educate our children, develop a prevention program so that we can stop them early at that targeted age before they become the shooters, before they move from being boys into monsters when you're scared of approaching them. We need to target those kids who are truant and absent from our communities so that we can start working with those kids directly. And they're not home, they're in the streets doing what? We need to target those kids, help those particular kids, and bring them back home, bring them back into the school system, and change them that way. So that's part 2. Already in place is the Community Bike Outreach Program. Every Monday, brothers come together. They meet at the Christian Community Commission Center, and they drive out into the various neighborhoods, and they do contact with the people in the community. They come together and they talk and they network and they communicate with the people in the community and let them know that there's people here, there's a presence. Sometimes all you have to do is ride through the community wearing your bright gold and black shirts and expose yourself and let people see that you're present. Let them see that there's men present, and men who care, and men who are involved, and men who will give you encouragement. So we're looking for people to join the campaign to do something as simple as to put on the right colors and ride the streets and to let people know that you're present and you want to be involved. And people just need sometimes a person to listen to them. They need people to listen to them. I remember Brother Kenneth was sitting up in one of the offices and he was emphasizing the need to be able to have somebody just to listen to them. As we continue the campaign, we want to also develop the Brotherhood Mentoring Program, a program which is called Constant Contact, a program which is designed as a mentoring program because we know that mentoring works. We need to put men with boys. We need to put positive sisters with young sisters so that we can create a change, and that's part of the program. We also want to continue with the Brother We Care tours, where brothers walk the street again, coming together with people, letting them know that we care, coming together with different individuals, aldermen and community leaders, etc., to come together and join us in these tours, to go out into the community and let people know that we care. We also want to add to the campaign, which is something that seems to be very simple, but we want to add something to the campaign which is really like a memorial wristband campaign. You know, these type of bands that we wear on our hands every single day. We want individuals to start wearing bands that reflect the people who have died or have passed away in their lives from gun violence. You would begin to see that if we just ask people to raise their hands today, and which people would need a band because you have someone who died in your family. You lost a brother, you lost a sister, you lost a cousin, or you lost a friend. Would you need that band today? We want to put those bands on all the individuals in our community that have been affected by gun violence to show as a reminder, as an awareness, as a memorial to remember the impact of gun violence in our community. We want to also have and put in place a community-based memorial program where we're going to recognize the 54 individuals who have died in this particular city to gun violence. We also want to recognize and remember the 411 individuals who have also been shot in this community. We want to get together in a part of the most violent part of the city and launch 411 black balloons. We want to launch another 54 balloons. Put them together and cover the sky with a black shadow, showing the impact of gun violence on the city, so we can be aware, we can see really what is occurring in our community. We want to get together with other agencies and other groups that are developing different shows on CTV and work with them to develop programs so that we can air and bring people together to actually hear and vent these particular issues. And finally, we want to work towards developing a community think tank. We want to bring together the people who are in the community, the grassroots people in the community, the people of knowledge, the aldermen, the city, everybody who knows, to develop a think tank so that we can meet on a regular basis to figure out what we can do collectively. Bring together people of good minds to figure out what we can do collectively. Bring together people who care, people who will dare to stand to see what we can do collectively to create a change in this city. So this is the objective, the overall objective of what we want to do in the Dare to Stand campaign. And this campaign is not about this group, this is about our campaign. This is about what can we do as a community, as a people, to create a change in this community. We're actually to come together, join in this campaign, Dare to Stand. Call on Brother Donald to take us further.